she accidentally hacked. His $2 billion wedding live. They got married after finding out they're not siblings. Zara Chen tucked a strand of purple-streaked hair behind her ear, fingers dancing across her laptop keyboard in the dim light of her Brooklyn studio apartment. 3:47 a.m. Perfect time for a harmless security test on the Blackstone Hotel's booking system. Her client wanted to make sure their cyber defenses were solid before tomorrow's high-profile wedding. The wedding of the century, they called it. Adrian Blackstone, Hotel Empire heir and Forbes' youngest billionaire at 32, marrying Isabella Rothschild, pharmaceutical heiress. A $2 billion merger disguised as romance. "All right, Mr. Whiskers," she told her orange tabby cat, who supervised from atop her second-hand desk. "Let's see how secure this fancy hotel really is." Her custom program, affectionately named Troublemaker, slipped through the first firewall like butter. Then the second. Too easy. These rich corporations always skimped on cybersecurity, thinking their money made them invincible. But then something weird happened. The code hit a redirect she hadn't expected, a hidden bridge between the hotel's public system and something else. Her screen flickered, and suddenly she wasn't looking at booking databases anymore. She was staring at a live video feed. The Blackstone Grand Ballroom materialized on her screen in stunning 4K clarity. Adrian Blackstone himself stood at an altar covered in white roses that probably cost more than her monthly rent. His perfectly styled dark hair caught the chandelier light as he practiced reading from cards. "What the—" Zara frantically checked her program. Somehow she'd breached into the private live stream system, the one meant only for tomorrow's exclusive guest list. Except, her blood turned to ice, the stream wasn't private anymore. The viewer count in the corner climbed. 1,000, 5,000, 20,000. No, no, no! Her fingers flew across the keyboard, trying to kill the connection. But Troublemaker had integrated too deeply, auto-broadcasting to the Blackstone Hotel's official social media. Their 50 million followers were getting an unexpected preview. On screen, Adrian loosened his bow tie, unaware of his massive audience. "Isabella, you are my—" He stopped, crumpling the cards. "Christ, I can't say this garbage. Marcus, why does this sound like a corporate merger contract?" A man off-screen responded, "Because that's what it is, Adrian. You know this. The marriage of convenience to save the family empire." Adrian laughed bitterly. "Dad would be so proud, selling his son for stock prices." The chat exploded. Hearts, shocked emojis, and comments flooded in. Blackstone wedding started trending. Zara's hands shook as she tried every kill command she knew. Adrian continued his unwitting confession. "You know what the worst part is? I've never even had a real conversation with Isabella. We've been engaged 6 months, and I don't even know if she likes coffee or tea. I'm marrying a stranger tomorrow for money, and the whole world will watch me smile and lie about love." "Adrian!" A woman's shriek pierced through the speakers. "We're live! The stream is live!" The billionaire's head snapped toward the camera. His gray eyes widened, then narrowed. In that split second, before Zara finally cut the feed, she saw something flash across his face. Not the anger she expected, but something that looked impossibly like relief. Her laptop screen went black. The sudden silence felt deafening. Then her phone rang. Unknown number, Manhattan area code. Hello? "Miss Zara Chen." The voice was controlled destruction, smooth as aged whiskey and twice as intoxicating. "You just cost me $2 billion. Her throat went dry. How did you—" "I'm Adrian Blackstone. You have exactly 15 minutes to get to my office, or I call the FBI, the CIA, and every law enforcement agency that handles cyber terrorism." Your little stunt just went global. 14 minutes and 40 seconds now. Mr. Blackstone, I can explain. 14 minutes and 30 seconds. My driver is already outside your building. Black Bentley. Don't make me come get you myself. The line went dead. Zara looked at Mr. Whiskers, who seemed to be judging her life choices. Outside her window, she could indeed see a black Bentley idling at the curb. Well, she said, grabbing her least wrinkled hoodie and her laptop, I just became the most hated woman in America. I destroyed a fairy tale wedding, cost a billionaire's merger, and probably committed several federal crimes. She headed for the door, then paused. But why did he look relieved? Time to find out if she was heading to jail or to something else entirely. Either way, her life just got infinitely more complicated. The Bentley's interior smelled like leather and intimidation. Zara clutched her laptop bag, watching Manhattan blur past the tinted windows. The driver hadn't said a word, just nodded when she'd stumbled into the back seat wearing her coffee-stained hoodie and mismatched socks she'd shoved into beat-up Converse. Her phone buzzed nonstop. 47 messages from her best friend Lily. One from her mom asking if she'd seen that poor billionaire's embarrassment. And approximately 1 million notifications from social media she didn't dare check. The Bentley pulled up to Blackstone Tower, a glass monstrosity that pierced the sky like it was personally offending God. The driver opened her door. "Penthouse floor," he said, his first and only words. The elevator was a mirror-lined torture chamber that showed Zara exactly how out of place she was. Purple-streaked bedhead, yesterday's mascara doing its raccoon impression, a hoodie that proclaimed, "I speak fluent sarcasm," facing off against marble and gold that whispered, "You don't belong here." 57 floors of pure anxiety later, the doors opened, directly into an office that could house a small village. Floor-to-ceiling windows framed the city like a conquered kingdom. And there, silhouetted against the sunrise, stood Adrian Blackstone. Even disheveled, he was unfairly gorgeous. His tuxedo shirt was half unbuttoned, bow tie hanging loose, sleeves rolled up, revealing forearms that had no business looking that good. His dark hair was messed like he'd been running his hands through it. When he turned, those gray eyes hit her like a physical force. "Miss Chen!" His voice could freeze hell. "Do you have any idea what you've done? Accidentally revealed that your wedding was a sham?" The words escaped before her brain could stop them. His jaw tightened. That sham was a $2 billion merger that would have saved 3,000 jobs. The Rothschild pharmaceutical deal is dead. Isabella's father pulled out 20 minutes ago. Zara's stomach plummeted. 3,000 jobs? Gone. He moved closer, each step calculated. "Unless you fix this." "I can't unhack something that's already gone viral. It's literally impossible." "Not that." He stopped just close enough that she could see the gold flecks in his gray eyes. "Someone's been leaking information from my company for 6 months. The board thinks I'm sabotaging deals to tank stock prices and buy them out. Your little stunt tonight gave them the perfect excuse to call an emergency meeting. I have 72 hours to find the real mole, or I lose everything. And you want me to find them. You hacked into my system in minutes. You're either a genius or incredibly lucky. Either way, you're now my consultant." Zara laughed, sharp and disbelieving. "You're blackmailing me?" "I'm offering you a choice." He pulled out a contract from his desk. "Work for me for 6 months or I press charges. Corporate espionage, defamation, destruction of property. My lawyers are very creative." "This is insane." "This is survival." He set the contract in front of her. $150,000 plus bonuses if you find the mole, or federal prison. Your choice. She scanned the contract. The number made her eyes water, more money than she'd seen in her entire life. There's a clause here about additional duties as required. What does that mean? His smile was dangerous. It means when I need a date to events to prove I'm not the bitter, jilted billionaire the media's painting me as, you'll play the part. You want me to be your fake girlfriend? Her voice climbed an octave. I want you to help repair my image while you find who's destroying my company. He leaned against his desk, studying her. Unless you'd prefer explaining to a judge how your accident cost thousands of people their livelihood? Zara met his gaze, her chin lifting. You're an ass. I'm a businessman protecting my empire. Same thing. He actually almost smiled at that. Almost. Is that a yes? She thought about her empty bank account, her mom's medical bills, the FBI inevitably knocking on her door. Then she looked at this infuriatingly beautiful man who just turned her mistake into his opportunity. I want my cat. Excuse me? If I'm working 18-hour days finding your mole, someone needs to feed Mr. Whiskers. He comes to the office. Adrian stared at her like she'd suggested bringing a live tiger to work. You're negotiating cat visitation rights? Deal breaker. He signed something on his phone. Fine. The cat can come. Anything else? Yeah. She picked up the pen, hand hovering over the signature line. Why did you look relieved when the feed cut? When you realized everyone saw you? For the first time, his mask slipped. Something raw flickered across his face before the cold CEO returned. Sign the contract, Miss Chen. She signed. What else could she do? Excellent. He moved toward the door. You start now. Marcus will show you to your office. Now? It's 5 a.m. Welcome to my world. He paused at the door. Oh, and Zara? That hoodie has to go. We have a reputation to maintain. As he left, she flipped him off behind his back. I saw that in the window reflection. His voice drifted back. Despite everything, she smiled. 6 months. Find a mole. Pretend to date an insufferable billionaire. Save 3,000 jobs. How hard could it be? Day 1 of being Adrian Blackstone's fake girlfriend, real cyber detective, started with Zara walking into the wrong bathroom, spilling coffee on the CFO, and accidentally sending a gif of a dancing cat to the entire executive board. It was 7 a.m., and she'd already become a legend for all the wrong reasons. You must be the hacker, a smooth voice said behind her as she frantically tried to recall the cat gif email. Zara spun to find Marcus Webb, the CFO from the wedding rehearsal video. Perfectly coiffed blonde hair, Tom Ford suit, and a smile that didn't reach his eyes. He extended a manicured hand. Marcus Webb. I handle Adrian's money. His handshake was deliberately too firm. Interesting how you went from destroying his wedding to being his consultant. Interesting how quickly news travels in this office, she shot back. Oh, honey. A black woman with stunning braids and a designer pantsuit appeared, shoving Marcos aside. Everyone knows everything here. I'm Keisha, head of PR, and you're my new nightmare. That hoodie has got to go. Zara looked down at her I speak fluent sarcasm hoodie. Adrian already mentioned. Adrian doesn't know Versace from Walmart. Keisha circled her like a shark. If you're playing his girlfriend, you need to look the part. Marcus, don't you have some insider trading to do? Marcus's jaw tightened. Careful, Keisha. We wouldn't want any more scandals, would we? He turned to Zara. Good luck, Miss Chen. Adrian goes through assistants like tissue paper. The last one lasted 3 days. After he left, Keisha rolled her eyes. Ignore him. He's been trying to get into Adrian's pants and his position for 5 years. Come on, let's get you set up before the Ice King summons you. Zara's office turned out to be a converted supply closet next to Adrian's executive suite. Someone had hastily shoved a desk, computer, and dying plant into the space. A post-it note on the monitor read, "Try not to hack this one, Adrian." "Charming," she muttered, booting up the computer. The system was locked tighter than Fort Knox. Good. She liked a challenge. Her fingers flew across the keyboard, mapping the network architecture. Whoever was leaking information had to leave digital footprints. Every hack, every download, every... Are you always this focused, or is it just when you're committing federal crimes? Adrian stood in her doorway, filling it completely. He'd changed into a charcoal suit that probably cost more than her annual rent. Every inch the untouchable CEO except for the coffee stain on his pristine white shirt. "Did you just..." She pointed at the stain. "Your cat." He stepped inside, making the closet feel even smaller. "It's in my office, knocked over my coffee, and is now sitting in my $3,000 ergonomic chair like it owns the place. Mr. Whiskers has excellent taste. He also has excellent timing. The board meeting is in 2 hours, and they're voting on my removal." Adrian's mask slipped for a second, showing exhaustion underneath. "I need something, anything, that proves I'm not the leak." Zara turned back to her screen. "Give me 30 minutes. You have 20. Then get out and let me work." He didn't move. "You know, most people are terrified of me. Most people didn't see you practice crying during your fake vows yesterday." "I wasn't crying." He stopped, composing himself. 20 minutes, Miss Chen." The door slammed behind him. Zara cracked her knuckles. "All right, mole. Where are you hiding?" She dove into the data streams, following digital breadcrumbs through firewalls and encrypted folders. Someone had been smart, routing their activities through multiple proxy servers, but they'd made one mistake. They'd used the company's own VPN to initial access. 17 minutes later, she burst into Adrian's office. He was standing at the window, Marcus beside him, showing him something on a tablet. Mr. Whiskers was indeed ruling from the expensive chair. "I found something," she announced. Marcus barely glanced up. "Adrian, we really should discuss—" "Not now, Marcus." Adrian turned to her, hope flickering in his eyes. "What did you find?" "Someone's been accessing classified files using executive credentials, but the access times correspond with board meetings when all executives were supposedly in the room." She pulled up the data on his wall screen. "Whoever it is, they're using cloned credentials. They're one of your top 12 executives." "That's impossible," Marcus interjected. "Our security—" "Is garbage," Zara finished. "I hacked it in. 3 minutes, remember?" Adrian studied the data, his jaw tightening. "Can you narrow it down? Give me a week, maybe less if I can access the server room." "The board won't wait a week." Marcus's smile was sympathetic, but felt practiced. "Adrian, perhaps it's time to consider stepping down gracefully." "I'm not stepping down." Adrian's voice could cut glass. "Zara, you're coming to the board meeting." "What? Number I don't do corporate—" "You do now. You're my girlfriend, remember?" He grabbed his jacket. "Time to sell the performance of your life." Marcus's face went pale. "Girlfriend? Adrian, you can't be serious. The woman who destroyed your wedding is the woman I'm now dating." Adrian took Zara's hand, his touch sending unwanted electricity up her arm. "We fell for each other during our late-night security reviews. Right, darling?" Zara looked between Adrian's challenging stare and Marcus's shocked face. The CFO looked like he'd swallowed a lemon wrapped in betrayal. "Right. Honey Bear?" she managed. Adrian's lip twitched. "Never call me that again." "You got it, Snookums." Marcus stormed out, and Adrian dropped her hand immediately. "This better work." Your board will either buy it or think you've lost your mind. She picked up Mr. Whiskers. Either way, it'll be entertaining. My entire career is on the line. Then you better be a good actor. She headed for the door, then paused. By the way, your fly's been open this whole time. Adrian looked down in horror. It wasn't, but his panicked check was worth it. Made you look, honey bear? His glare could have melted steel. This was going to be a very long 6 months. The board meeting had been a disaster wrapped in a catastrophe, with a side of humiliation. Zara had accidentally called the chairman dude, spilled water on quarterly reports, and when asked how she and Adrian met, she'd panicked and said, prism. Through a prism. Of love? It was now 11 p.m., and she was alone in her supply closet office, Mr. Whiskers purring on her lap while she hunted through code. The board had given Adrian 1 week, prove he wasn't the mole or step down. The stress of it made her fingers fly faster across the keyboard. You know normal people go home at night? She jumped, sending Mr. Whiskers leaping onto the desk. Adrian stood in her doorway, tie loosened, jacket gone, looking more human than she'd ever seen him. Normal people don't have 7 days to save 3,000 jobs, she replied, turning back to her screen. 6 days. We lost one. He entered carrying 2 wine glasses and a bottle. Figured you could use this. You're being nice. Are you dying? The board suggested I show more humanity. He poured the wine, something French that probably cost more than her laptop. Also, you called Chairman Roberts dude to his face. That was memorable. In my defense, he looks like a dude. She accepted the glass, surprised when he sat on the floor beside her chair instead of leaving. Shouldn't you be home in your penthouse, counting your money or whatever? I live here during crisis mode. There's a bedroom through that door. He gestured to his office. Haven't left the building in 3 days. That's unhealthy. That's business. He took a sip, then suddenly asked, Why'd you quit the NSA? The question caught her off guard. How did you? I had you investigated, thoroughly. MIT dropout, youngest NSA recruit in cyber division history. Then you just walked away. Why? Zara stared at her screen, debating. The wine, the late hour, his unexpected vulnerability. It all made her want to tell the truth. My mom got sick. Cancer. The NSA doesn't exactly give you time off to hold your mother's hand through chemo. She kept typing, not looking at him. So I chose her over them. Freelance work pays the bills, keeps us afloat. Is she? Remission. 6 months now. Zara finally met his eyes. Your turn. Why did you look relieved when your wedding got canceled? Adrian was quiet for so long she thought he wouldn't answer. Then, have you ever been so trapped by expectations that you forget who you are? No, but I've seen enough rom-coms to get the idea. He actually smiled, a real one, not his boardroom shark smile. My father built this empire from nothing. Immigrant kid who worked 3 jobs to put himself through school. When he died 2 years ago, his will had conditions. Marry within the year, produce an heir within 3, or everything goes to my stepmother, who'll sell it to Marcus and his investment group. That's medieval. That's family. He poured more wine. Isabella was the perfect solution. Her father needed our distribution network. I needed a wife who understood it was business. No feelings, no complications. Sounds lonely. It was safe. He rolled the glass between his hands. Feelings are dangerous in my world. They're weapons people use against you. Zara found herself studying his profile. The sharp jaw, the way his hair fell across his forehead when he wasn't perfectly styled. Is that why you have the personality of a particularly antisocial iceberg? Did you just compare me to the thing that sank the Titanic? If the glacier fits. He laughed. Actually laughed, and the sound transformed him completely. For a moment she saw who Adrian might have been, without the weight of an empire on his shoulders. "I should hate you," he said softly. "You destroyed everything I planned." But you also freed me from a marriage that would have been a beautifully decorated prison." He stood, setting down his empty glass. "And somehow, you're the first person in 2 years who isn't afraid to tell me exactly what you think." "Oh, I haven't even started. Your taste in art is pretentious, your coffee is overpriced, and that sculpture in the lobby looks like someone sneezed in bronze. That's a Kandinsky worth $4 million. A $4 million sneeze." He shook his head, but he was smiling. "Get some sleep, Zara. You're no good to me exhausted." "Worried about me, honey bear?" "Adrian," he corrected. "When we're alone, just Adrian." Something shifted in the air between them. The teasing felt different, charged. "Good night, Adrian," she said softly. He paused at the door. "There's a couch in my office if you need to crash. It's more comfortable than your desk." After he left, Zara sat in the dark for a long moment, Mr. Whiskers purring in her lap. She'd expected a lot of things from Adrian Blackstone: coldness, arrogance, maybe threats. She hadn't expected humanity. She definitely hadn't expected to like him. A notification popped up on her screen. Someone was accessing files right now at 11:47 p.m. using executive credentials. She pulled up the activity log, her heart racing. The access was coming from inside the building, specifically from the CFO's office. "Got you," she whispered, then louder. "Adrian!" He appeared immediately, like he'd been hovering nearby. "What is it?" "Someone's downloading files right now. From Marcus's office." Adrian's face hardened back into the CEO mask. "Could be Marcus working late. Or it could be our mole." She grabbed her laptop. "Only one way to find out. You're not going alone. This is what you hired me for. And as your boyfriend, I'm coming with you." He grabbed his phone. "If it is Marcus, this could get ugly." "Fake boyfriend," she corrected, but her heart did a stupid little flip at the protective tone in his voice. "Right. Fake." But the way he said it, the way he looked at her, nothing about it felt fake anymore. They headed for the elevator, about to catch their mole red-handed. What Zara didn't know was that the mole had been watching them too and had plans of their own. The executive floor was dark except for the thin strip of light under Marcus's door. Zara's laptop showed active file transfers. Someone was downloading everything: client lists, financial records, merger plans. "We should call security," Adrian whispered, his breath warm against her ear. "And alert them? No way." She pulled out her phone, starting a recording. "We need evidence." They crept closer. Through the crack, Zara could see a figure at Marcus's computer, but the angle was wrong to identify them. Adrian's hand found hers in the darkness, squeezing once. Whether for comfort or warning, she wasn't sure. Then her phone rang. Her mother's ringtone. "Dancing Queen" by ABBA shattered the silence at maximum volume. The figure spun around. The door flew open. Marcus stood there, fully dressed despite the late hour, his expression calculating. "Adrian?" And the little hacker. His smile was sharp. "Rather late for a romantic stroll through the office." "Marcus?" Adrian's voice was deadly calm. "Want to explain why you're downloading classified files at midnight?" "I'm the CFO. I don't need to explain accessing financial records to anyone, including you." Marcus's eyes flicked to their joined hands. "Interesting how fast you moved on from Isabella. Almost like you planned it." Zara's phone kept ringing. She declined the call with shaking fingers, but the damage was done. "Actually," Marcus continued, "this looks rather suspicious. The CEO and his new girlfriend who just happens to be a convicted hacker. I'm not convicted of anything, Zara snapped. Yet. Marcus pulled out his own phone. I wonder what the board would think about you two sneaking around after hours. Perhaps you're the one stealing data, and this whole relationship is a cover. That's ridiculous, Adrian said. Is it? She hacks your wedding, destroys a $1 billion deal, and within 24 hours she's your girlfriend with full system access? Marcus started typing. I'm calling an emergency board meeting right now. At midnight, Zara stepped forward. That's insane. No, that's protocol when there's suspected corporate espionage. His smile widened. They'll be here within the hour. Hope you have a better explanation than prison of love. Adrian's jaw tightened. Fine, call them. But I want that computer examined. If you're clean, you have nothing to worry about. Oh, I'm not worried. Marcus pocketed his phone. The question is, are you? 45 minutes later, the boardroom was filled with unhappy executives in various states of undress. Chairman Roberts wore a suit jacket over pajama pants. Mrs. Patterson had curlers in her hair. Everyone looked murderous. This better be good, Webb, Roberts growled. Marcus stood confidently. I've discovered evidence that Mr. Blackstone and Miss Chen are working together to steal company data. She gains access. He provides cover by pretending to investigate, while actually— That's a lie, Zara interrupted. Miss Chen. Mrs. Patterson's voice was ice. You've been here one day. Marcus has been with us 5 years. Who do you think we'll believe? The evidence, Adrian said calmly. Check the access logs. Someone was downloading files from Marcus's computer tonight. Because I was reviewing quarterly reports, Marcus said smoothly, as I do every month. However, he connected his laptop to the screen. These are the real access logs from the past 6 months. Zara's blood went cold. The data on screen showed her ID badge accessing restricted areas, downloading sensitive files, all backdated to make it look like she'd been infiltrating for months. That's impossible. I just got here. Digital records don't lie, Marcus said. Unless, of course, you're a hacker who specializes in manipulating them. The board murmured anxiously. Robert stood. Mr. Blackstone, this is deeply concerning. Your judgment in bringing this woman here is the best decision I've made, Adrian finished. Zara found evidence of insider trading. Someone's been— Adrian. Marcus's voice was almost pitying. Stop. You're embarrassing yourself for a girl you've known 2 days. Actually, a new voice said from the doorway, it's been 3 days and I have something you'll want to see. Keisha walked in, tablet in hand, still in her designer dress from whatever event she'd left. Sorry I'm late. Traffic was murder. But I've been doing some digging of my own. This isn't your concern, Keisha, Marcus said tightly. Oh, but it is. She connected her tablet to the screen. See, when Zara's hack went viral, I started monitoring all our social media. Imagine my surprise when I found this. Someone live streaming from Marcus's office 30 minutes ago. The screen showed Marcus at his computer, clearly downloading files, talking on the phone. Yes, the Blackstone data is almost transferred. Once Adrian's removed, we can proceed with the takeover. The room exploded. You recorded me without permission, Marcus snarled. Actually, you recorded yourself. You forgot to turn off the webcam after your Zoom call. Keisha smiled sweetly. Rookie mistake. Robert stood. Marcus Webb, you're suspended pending investigation. Security will escort you out. Marcus's face contorted with rage. He turned to Adrian. You think you've won? You have no idea what's coming. Your father's company deserves better than his disappointment of a son playing dress-up CEO. Adrian moved forward, but Zara caught his arm. He's not worth it. Marcus laughed bitterly. Listen to your fake girlfriend, Adrian. Though I wonder how long she'll stick around when she learns the truth about security now, Roberts commanded. As Marcus was escorted out, he called back. This isn't over, Adrian. Your father had secrets, and I know them all. After everyone left, Zara found Adrian on the balcony, staring at the city lights. The adrenaline was wearing off, leaving her exhausted. Thank you, he said without turning, for stopping me from hitting him. Orange isn't your color. Prison jumpsuit would clash with your eyes. He huffed a laugh. My father really is disappointed in me, you know. Was. He wanted me to be like him, ruthless, cold, caring only about profit. Sounds like Marcus would have been perfect for him. That's what terrifies me. He turned to her. What if Marcus is right? What if I'm not meant for this? Zara moved closer, close enough to see the vulnerability he never showed anyone else. You know what I think? I think your father built an empire, but you're trying to build something better, a company that actually cares about its people. 3,000 jobs, Zara. I almost lost them because I trusted the wrong person. But you didn't. We stopped him. We. He smiled softly. I like the sound of that. The moonlight caught his face, and suddenly the space between them felt electric. Adrian's hand came up to cup her cheek. This is probably a terrible idea, he murmured. The worst, she agreed, but she was already leaning in. Their lips had barely touched when her phone rang again, a BBA blaring through the moment. I need to take this, she said apologetically. It's my mom. She never calls this late unless... Go, Adrian said gently. I'll be here. As she answered the phone, hearing her mother's scared voice saying the cancer markers were back, Zara realized that for the first time in years, she actually believed someone would be there for her, even if it was all supposed to be fake. You look like death warmed over in Prada. Keisha's voice cut through Zara's fog. She'd been staring at the same line of code for an hour, her third espresso growing cold. No, 3 days since her mom's call. 3 days of pretending everything was fine while scheduling oncology appointments between hunting for Marcus's accomplices. It's actually Walmart, Zara mumbled, but thanks. Honey, we need to talk about tonight. Keisha perched on her desk, immaculate as always. The Blackstone family dinner. Adrian's mother is expecting you. What? Zara's head snapped up. Number Adrian said that was canceled after the wedding fiasco. Vivian Blackstone doesn't cancel. She postpones until she can properly interrogate. Keisha pulled out a garment bag. She specifically requested to meet the woman who corrupted her son into choosing love over logic. But it's fake. Not to her. Not to anyone outside this room. Keisha's voice softened. Look, I know something's going on with you. Adrian's been hovering like a worried helicopter for 3 days. But tonight needs to be perfect. Vivian has the power to destroy both of you if she smells blood. The door burst open. Adrian stood there, looking harassed. My mother just called. She's invited Marcus. What? Zara and Keisha said simultaneously. She says he's family. 5 years with the company. He deserves to say goodbye properly. Adrian ran a hand through his hair. She doesn't know about the investigation yet. This is a trap, Zara said immediately. Obviously, but we can't refuse. That would look suspicious. He finally looked at her properly, noting the dark circles. You okay? Perfect, she lied. Just love meeting intimidating mothers while their vindictive ex-CFO plots revenge. It's my favorite Tuesday activity. Adrian stepped closer, lowering his voice. We can cancel. Make an excuse. No. She squared her shoulders. I'm fine. What's the worst that could happen? 6 hours later, standing in the Blackstone Estate's marble foyer while Vivian Blackstone circled her like a well-dressed shark, Zara deeply regretted those words. So, Vivian's voice could freeze champagne. You're the hacker who destroyed my son's engagement. Mom, Adrian warned. I prefer cybersecurity specialist, Zara said, trying not to fidget in the cocktail dress Keisha had forced her into. I prefer my son not dating criminals, yet here we are. Vivian's smile was razor sharp. Tell me, Miss Chen, what exactly are your intentions? Mother, enough to find who's stealing from your company and protect Adrian from false accusations, Zara interrupted, meeting Vivian's gaze steadily. Ma'am, something flickered in Vivian's eyes. Interesting. Marcus tells me you're quite talented, when you're not destroying $1,000,000 weddings. 2 billion, Marcus corrected, appearing from the dining room with a wine glass. Let's be accurate about the destruction. He looked perfect, calm, collected, like he hadn't been caught stealing data 3 days ago. The investigation was confidential, which meant he could still play innocent. Marcus, darling? Vivian air-kissed his cheeks. I'm so sorry about the unpleasantness at the company. Adrian can be so impulsive. It's forgotten, Marcus said smoothly, his eyes never leaving Zara. I understand the lengths men go to for love. The way he said love made it sound like a disease. Dinner was torture, disguised as French cuisine. Vivian interrogated Zara about everything. Her family, education, the MIT dropout situation. Marcus kept making subtle jabs. Adrian's hand found Zara's under the table, squeezing whenever she looked ready to stab someone with a fork. Then Vivian brought out the photo albums. Adrian was such a serious child, she said, flipping pages. Never smiled. His father used to say he was born for business, not happiness. Mom, please. Oh, look. His first merger negotiation. 8 years old, convincing 2 lemonade stands to combine operations. She showed a photo of tiny Adrian in a suit, looking miserable. His father was so proud. He looks thrilled, Zara said sarcastically, then caught herself. But Vivian laughed, actually laughed. Yes, well, Richard never did understand that children need more than profit margins. Her voice carried old pain. I tried to tell him, but father always knew best, Adrian finished bitterly. An uncomfortable silence fell. Marcus broke it. Speaking of Richard, I found some interesting documents in his old files. About the company's founding, the original partnerships. Adrian tensed. What kind of documents? Oh, just some old contracts, nothing important. Marcus's smile was predatory. Unless someone were interested in the truth about how the Blackstone Empire really began. Vivian went pale. Marcus, perhaps... Zara's phone buzzed. Hospital calling. She rejected it, but it rang again immediately. I'm so sorry, I need to... She stood, phone already to her ear. Miss Chen? Your mother's had a reaction to the medication. You need to come immediately. The room spun. Zara grabbed the table for support. Zara? Adrian was beside her instantly. What's wrong? I have to go. My mom, the hospital. She was already moving. I'll drive you. Adrian! Vivian's voice was sharp. We have guests. Then entertain them. He grabbed his keys, his arm around Zara's waist. We're leaving. This is exactly what your father feared, Vivian called after them. Choosing emotion over obligation. Adrian turned at the door. Then maybe father was wrong about everything. In the car, Zara finally broke. She's all I have. If something happens, nothing will happen. Adrian drove with controlled urgency. What hospital? Presbyterian, the cancer unit. She hadn't meant to tell him that part. His hand found hers. How long? 6 months remission, until 3 days ago. Tears escaped despite her efforts. The treatment's experimental. Insurance won't cover it. That's why I needed this job so badly. The treatment. How much? 200,000. Might as well be 2 million. Adrian was quiet for a moment, then, done. What? The treatment. It's covered. Full amount. Adrian, no, I can't. You saved my company. Let me save your mother. He squeezed her hand. Please. She wanted to argue, but they were pulling up to the hospital, and all she could think about was getting to her mom. Adrian stayed with her, this billionaire in his designer suit sitting in uncomfortable plastic chairs, holding her hand while they waited for news. You should go back, she said after 2 hours. Your mother will survive. Besides, Marcus is probably pitching himself as my replacement right now. He attempted a smile. At least here I know where I stand. The doctor finally appeared. Her mom was stable. The reaction was manageable. She could visit. Zara's mother looked small in the hospital bed, but her eyes lit up when she saw them. Baby girl, and you must be the famous Adrian? Despite everything, her mom was smiling. The one who's got my Zara actually wearing a dress. Mom? What? It's true. You should see her closet. It's where fashion goes to die. Adrian laughed, and Zara realized she loved that sound. Really loved it. Which was terrifying, because this was supposed to be fake. I should let you two talk, Adrian said. I'll be in the waiting room. After he left, her mom patted the bed. Sit. Tell me about this boy who races to hospitals with you. It's complicated. Love always is. It's not love. It's a business arrangement. Her mom studied her. Baby, I've seen business arrangements. They don't look at you like you hung the moon. Mom. Life's short, Zara. I know that better than most. She took Zara's hand. Don't waste time pretending you don't feel what you feel. Later in the hallway, Zara found Adrian on the phone, pacing. I don't care what the board says. Marcus is not. He saw her and ended the call. How is she? Stable. Tired. Zara hesitated. Thank you. For everything. The money, staying here. It's what boyfriends do. Fake boyfriends. He stepped closer. Right. Fake. They stood there, inches apart, the hospital fluorescents casting shadows. His hand came up to brush a tear from her cheek. Zara, your mother's right. You're choosing emotion over obligation. Maybe it's time someone did. His thumb traced her cheekbone. Maybe. His phone exploded with texts. Then Zara's. Then the hospital TV broke into breaking news. Shocking revelation. Blackstone empire built on stolen fortune? Marcus appeared on screen, holding documents. I have proof that Richard Blackstone stole the original capital for his company. The real owner's descendants deserve justice. Adrian's phone rang. Roberts. Emergency board meeting. Now they're voting you out, Adrian. Marcus convinced them. You have 1 hour. The moment shattered. Adrian's walls slammed back up, the CEO mask returning. I have to go. Adrian, this is what I was trying to avoid. Feelings making everything complicated. He stepped back. Focus on your mom. I'll handle Marcus. He was gone before she could respond, leaving her in the sterile hallway with her heart cracking and the TV showing Marcus's smug face on repeat. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Check your email. You'll want to see what really happened to Richard Blackstone. A friend. She opened the attachment and gasped. If this was real, it changed everything. Zara ran through the hospital parking lot, laptop bag bouncing against her hip, still in her cocktail dress and heels. The email contained security footage from 30 years ago. Richard Blackstone and another man signing papers. Oh, but the other man was holding a gun under the table. She had 40 minutes to get to Blackstone Tower and stop the board from destroying Adrian. Her phone rang. Keisha. Girl, where are you? This place is a war zone. Marcus has half the board convinced Adrian knew about his father's crimes. Keisha, listen. I have proof Richard was victim, not the thief. Someone forced him to sign those papers. Can you stall? How am I supposed to? I don't know. Start a fire. Pull the fire alarm. Just give me 20 minutes. You're asking me to commit a felony in Valentino? Keisha, fine. But you owe me a spa weekend. With champagne. Good champagne. Zara burst through the boardroom doors 18 minutes later, laptop under her arm, hair wild, one heel broken. The entire board turned to stare. Marcus stood at the presentation screen, his smugness faltering. Miss Chen, Chairman Roberts said coldly, this is a closed session. About crimes that never happened. She connected her laptop to the screen, hands shaking. Marcus, you said Richard Blackstone stole the startup capital. You have documents, but you don't have this. The security footage played. Young Richard Blackstone, maybe 25, sitting across from Vincent Rothschild, Isabella's grandfather, the gun clearly visible in the enhanced footage. That's impossible, Marcus breathed. Vincent Rothschild was running illegal casinos. Richard was his accountant who discovered the truth. This is the night Vincent forced Richard to take the fall. Signed documents claiming he'd embezzled the money, or Vincent would kill Richard's pregnant wife, Vivian. Gaffs around the table. Adrian stood frozen, staring at his young father on screen. Richard took the dirty money and ran, Zara continued. Built the empire to protect his family. But Vincent's descendants, Isabella's family, they knew. The marriage was meant to be reparations. Unite the families, bury the secret. You're lying, Marcus snarled. I researched for months. You researched what Isabella's father wanted you to find. Another video. This is you, 3 months ago, meeting with Mr. Rothschild, taking payment to destroy Adrian from the inside. The footage showed Marcus accepting an envelope, shaking hands, promising to handle the Blackstone problem. You were never trying to take over, Adrian said quietly. You were trying to destroy everything my father built. Your father was a thief, Marcus shouted, composure finally cracking. My father was a survivor. Vivian's voice came from the doorway. She entered, regal, despite tears on her cheeks. I've stayed quiet for 30 years, but not anymore. Richard saved me from Vincent. Built this empire to ensure we'd never be victims again. She pulled out a safety deposit key. Richard left something for the board in case this day came. An hour later, after reviewing Richard's hidden testimony, the board voted unanimously. Marcus was arrested for corporate espionage. The Rothschild connection was severed permanently. Adrian remained CEO, but Adrian himself had disappeared. Zara found him on the roof, city lights sprawling below. He stood at the edge, not dangerously, just lost. Your father was a hero, she said softly. He was a stranger. His voice was hollow. 30 years of thinking he was cold, calculating. Turns out he was protecting us. Adrian. I accused him of not having feelings. At his funeral, I said he cared more about money than family. He laughed bitterly. He gave up everything for family. Zara moved closer. You couldn't have known. I should have trusted him. Instead, I spent my whole life trying to be his opposite. He turned to her, eyes raw. I almost married Isabella. Would have walked right into their trap because I was so desperate to not be him. But you didn't. Because of you. He stepped closer. You crashed into my life, destroyed everything I thought I knew, and somehow made it all better. Adrian, I know this is supposed to be fake. I know we have a contract, but Zara, She kissed him. It wasn't like the almost kisses before. This was desperate, real, tasting like truth and pain and hope all mixed together. His arms came around her, pulling her against him, like she was the only solid thing in a world that kept shifting. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, he rested his forehead against hers. "This is probably terrible timing," he murmured. "The worst," she agreed, but she was smiling. "Your mom needs you. The company's in chaos. Marcus probably has more surprises planned." "All true. So what do we do?" She pulled back to look at him. Really look at him. Not the CEO, not the billionaire. Just Adrian. Vulnerable, complicated, imperfect Adrian. "We stop pretending. The contract. Screw the contract." She kissed him again, quick and fierce. "I quit. Fire me. Whatever. But I'm not pretending anymore." "Good," he said against her lips. "Because I'm fairly certain I'm in love with you, and that would be awkward if we were still fake dating." She laughed, the sound echoing across the roof. "Fairly certain?" "Completely certain, desperately certain, stupidly, inconveniently certain." "Good, because I'm definitely in love with you, which is terrifying and wonderful and—" Her phone rang. "The hospital." "Go," Adrian said immediately. "I'll come with you. The board can wait. You're more important." As they headed for the elevator hand in hand, Zara's phone buzzed with another unknown text. "This isn't over. Richard's secrets go deeper. Be careful. A friend." She showed Adrian. His jaw tightened. "Let them come," he said. "We'll face it together." "Together," she agreed. But neither of them saw the figure watching from the shadows, or the way they smiled when they heard that word. Together. Perfect. It would hurt so much more to tear them apart. The elevator doors closed, and somewhere in the city Marcus made bail. He had one more card to play, one that would destroy them both. The real truth about Richard Blackstone, the one even Vivian didn't know. 3 weeks of happiness. That's all they got. 3 weeks of real kisses in empty elevators, of Mr. Whiskers ruling Adrian's office, of late-night coding sessions that turned into morning coffee together. 3 weeks of Zara's mom getting better with treatment, of Adrian learning to smile without board approval, of something beautiful growing from their chaotic beginning. Then Marcus destroyed it all with a single photograph. Zara was debugging the new security system when every screen in Blackstone Tower lit up with the same image. Her 5 years ago, hair dyed black instead of purple, sitting in a car with Vincent Rothschild. Money changing hands. Emergency alert. Zara Chen is a Rothschild operative. Her blood froze. Number this couldn't be happening. Adrian's office door slammed open. He stood there holding a tablet, his face carved from stone. "Tell me it's fake." "Adrian, I can explain." "You knew Vincent Rothschild." His voice was deadly quiet. "You took money from him." "It's not what it looks like." "Then what is it?" He threw the tablet on her desk. More photos. Her entering Rothschild's office building multiple times. Bank records showing deposits. Marcus sent these to the entire board, the FBI, the media. "Adrian, please, let me—" "Were you working for them this whole time?" Each word was ice. "Was any of it real?" "Everything between us was real." She stood, desperate. "Yes, I knew Vincent, but—" "You knew him?" Adrian stepped back like she'd slapped him. "The man who destroyed my father? He hired me 5 years ago, before I knew who he was, before any of this." The words tumbled out. "I was 17, desperate for money for Mom's first round of treatment. He wanted someone to test his casino security. I didn't know about your father, about any crime. You expect me to believe that's a coincidence? You just happened to hack my wedding? Just happened to be the perfect person to help me?" Keisha burst in. "Adrian, the board's here. The FBI's downstairs. They're saying Zara's been planning this for years. Get her out, Adrian said, not looking at Zara. Adrian, you're fired. The contract's void. He finally met her eyes, and they were empty. My lawyers will be in touch about the criminal charges. You promised you'd trust me, she whispered. And you promised you weren't hiding anything. He turned to Keisha. Security will escort her out. She's not to take anything from the office. Adrian, please. We're done, Miss Chen. The next hours blurred together. Security marching her out like a criminal. Reporters screaming questions. Her mom calling, confused and scared. The FBI agent who looked bored as he explained she could cooperate or be charged with conspiracy. She sat in her apartment, Mr. Whiskers in her lap, staring at her laptop. 5 years of bank records, emails, everything that could prove her innocence, if anyone would listen. Her phone buzzed. The unknown number again. Check Vincent's casino. Tonight, midnight. Come alone if you want the truth. It was obviously a trap, but she had nothing left to lose. The abandoned Rothschild casino was a skeleton of neon and broken dreams. Zara entered through the service door she'd tested 5 years ago, muscle memory guiding her through the darkness. I knew you'd come, she spun. A woman stepped from the shadows, elegant, familiar, but older than Zara remembered. Isabella. Hello, Zara. Isabella Rothschild looked nothing like the perfect heiress from the wedding videos. Her designer dress was replaced with jeans and exhaustion. We need to talk about my grandfather. You're the one who's been texting me? I've been trying to warn you, but Marcus moved faster than I expected. Isabella pulled out a laptop. Everything you need is here. Vincent's real records, including the truth about you. What truth? Isabella turned the screen. A birth certificate. Zara's birth certificate. But the father's name wasn't blank like her mom always said. It was Richard Blackstone. That's impossible. Your mother was Richard's secretary. They had an affair before he married Vivian. When she got pregnant, Vincent found out. Isabella's voice was gentle. He used you as leverage, paid your mother to disappear, to never tell Richard. Another weapon to control him. Zara's world tilted. Number Mom would have told me. Vincent threatened to kill you both if she did. She thought staying silent kept you safe. The pieces clicked horribly into place. The mysterious money that appeared whenever Mom got sick. The way she'd panic whenever Zara mentioned the Blackstone name. The fear in her eyes when she saw Adrian on TV. Adrian's my half-brother? Nausea rolled through her. Isabella shook her head. Number. Check the dates. Richard and Vivian were separated when you were conceived. Adrian was born 3 years later, after they reconciled. But we're still siblings, half-siblings. Isabella pulled up more documents. Vincent kept records of everything, including this. A video. Vincent on his deathbed laughing. The best revenge is the one they do to themselves. Let Richard's bastard daughter destroy his legitimate son. Let them fall in love. Let them discover the truth when it's too late. Zara ran to the corner and threw up. Marcus doesn't know this part, Isabella said quietly. He only has the photos of you with Vincent. But if you try to defend yourself, if you push this, he'll dig deeper. He'll find out. And then, everyone will know. Adrian will know. Zara wiped her mouth with shaking hands. It'll destroy him. Destroy Vivian. Unless you disappear, let everyone think you're guilty. It's the only way to protect them. Why are you helping me? Because I'm tired of my family's poison, and because... Isabella looked away. I actually grew to care for Adrian. Not love, but he deserves better than this curse. Zara looked at the evidence. The truth that would destroy everything. Adrian would hate her either way, as a spy or as his father's secret daughter. At least this way, he'd never know the full horror. "There's a flight to Singapore in 3 hours," Isabella said. "I've arranged everything. New identity, job, apartment. You disappear, the scandal dies. Adrian moves on. He'll think I betrayed him. Better than knowing the truth." Zara thought about Adrian's face when he'd said they were done, the emptiness in his eyes. He already hated her. At least this would protect him from hating his father, too. She took the ticket. But she had one stop first: the hospital. Her mom was awake, watching the news about her daughter, the corporate spy. "Mom," Zara said quietly, "is Richard Blackstone my father?" Her mother's face crumbled. That was answer enough. "I'm leaving, tonight. Don't try to contact me." "Baby, no. The treatment's paid for. You'll be okay." Zara kissed her forehead. "I love you, but I can't forgive this." She left before her mother could respond. At the airport, Zara turned for one last look at the city. Somewhere in those lights, Adrian was probably working late, believing she'd betrayed him. It was better this way. Cleaner. Her phone rang. Adrian's name on the screen. She let it go to voicemail and boarded the plane. The message she'd never hear. "Zara, wait. Something's wrong. The dates don't match. Please, just let me—" But she was already gone, carrying the secret that she wasn't just the woman who destroyed his wedding. She was his sister. 6 months later. Adrian Blackstone hadn't smiled since the day Zara left. He'd become exactly what his father was: cold, efficient, profitable. The board loved it. His mother worried. Keisha had threatened to quit twice. He stood in his office at 2 a.m. staring at the wall of evidence he'd built. Photos, documents, timelines. Nothing made sense. Zara Chen had vanished completely. Even her mother, recovered now, claimed not to know where she was. "You need to let this go," Marcus said from the doorway. Adrian didn't turn. Marcus had been acquitted. Insufficient evidence. Good lawyers. He'd even weaseled back onto the board as a consultant. "She played you, Adrian. Accept it." "The timeline doesn't work." Adrian pointed to his charts. "She was 17 when Vincent hired her. A kid needing money for her sick mother. That's not a master plan." "Love makes us stupid," Marcus said almost gently. "Trust me, I know." Something in his tone made Adrian turn. Marcus looked tired, defeated. "You loved me," Adrian said, not a question. "For 5 years." Marcus laughed bitterly. "Watched you get engaged to Isabella. Watched you fall for that hacker. Always watching, never chosen." "Marcus, I'm leaving, tonight. The board doesn't know yet." He set an envelope on the desk. "That's my real resignation. And this—" He pulled out a flash drive. "This is what you deserve to know." "What is it?" "The truth. The whole truth. About Zara, your father. Everything." Marcus moved to leave, then paused. "I'm sorry, Adrian. For what I did. For what I'm about to do to you with that drive. But mostly, I'm sorry you'll have to live with knowing." After Marcus left, Adrian stared at the drive for an hour before plugging it in. The first file was a DNA test. Zara Chen and Adrian Blackstone. Familial match. Half-siblings. The room spun. Adrian gripped the desk, reading it again and again. The next file was Vincent's videos. The whole sick plan. Using Richard's illegitimate daughter as a weapon. The payments to Zara's mother. The threats. Then Isabella's files. Her recorded conversation with Zara that night at the casino. Zara's horror. Her disgust. Her decision to leave to protect him. "She knew," he whispered. "She knew, and she left anyway." He threw up in his wastebasket, then sat on the floor, shaking. His phone rang. Keisha. "Adrian, thank God. Zara's mom is at the hospital. She's hysterical. saying Zara's in trouble. He was already running. At the hospital, Lily Chen looked fragile but fierce. "Mr. Blackstone," her voice was ice. "Come to arrest me too?" "Mrs. Chen, I know. About Richard, about Zara, everything." Her composure cracked. "She called. First time in 6 months. Said goodbye. Said she couldn't live with it anymore." "Live with what?" "The lie. Letting you hate her. She's going to tell you the truth." Adrian's phone buzzed. Email from Zara. "Adrian, by the time you read this, it'll be over. I can't let you live thinking I betrayed you. The truth is worse, but you deserve it. I'm Richard Blackstone's daughter, your half-sister. Vincent Rothschild used me to destroy you without me knowing. I left to protect you from this truth. I'm sorry for existing, for falling in love with you, for everything. Please take care of my mom and Mr. Whiskers. Be happy, ZPS." "We're not actually blood related. Your mom had an affair. Richard knew but claimed you anyway. Marcus has the DNA proof. You're not a Blackstone by blood. I am. Ironic, right?" "No." Adrian called her number, straight to voicemail. "Where is she?" "She wouldn't say." Lily grabbed his hand. "But she mentioned something about where it all started, where the truth died. The casino. Vincent's abandoned casino." Adrian drove like a man possessed. The building loomed dark, except for one light on the roof. He found her standing at the edge, wind whipping her hair. Purple again, he noticed. "Zara, stop." She turned, tears streaming. "How did you—" "Your mom. Your email." He stepped closer. "I know everything." "Then you know why I had to leave." "I know why you thought you had to." Another step. "But you're wrong." "Adrian, we're siblings." "No, we're not." He pulled out his phone, showing her Marcus's final gift. "Vivian did have an affair. I'm not Richard's biological son. Marcus ran the DNA to hurt me one last time, but instead, he freed us." Zara stared at the results. "This could be fake." "It's not. I ran it myself. 3 times. He was close enough to touch her now. We're not related, Zara. Not by blood. Not at all. But everyone thinks. I don't care what everyone thinks." He cupped her face. "I care that you left. That you let me hate you rather than hurt me with the truth. That you sacrificed everything to protect me. Adrian, I love you. Not as a sister. Not as a business arrangement. As the woman who crashed my wedding, saved my company, and showed me how to be human again. This is insane. The scandal will be huge. Career-ending. Social suicide." He smiled. "And I absolutely don't care. Your mother knows. I told her everything. She said, and I quote, 'Thank God. That girl made you happy. Go get her back, you idiot.'" Zara laughed through her tears. "She did not say that." "She did. Right after she admitted she's been dating the pool boy Carlos for 2 years. "What?" "Apparently everyone's been keeping secrets." He pulled her closer. "But no more. No more lies. No more running. Just truth. The truth is messy. The truth is that I love you. The truth is complicated. The truth is that you love me too." She looked up at him. This man who'd driven through the night to stop her, who'd chosen her over every easy option. "The truth is," she whispered, "I never stopped loving you, even when I thought we were—" He kissed her, not desperate this time, but certain, like coming home after a long, terrible journey. When they broke apart, she was smiling. "So what now?" "The press will destroy us. The board will flip. Everything will—" Keisha's handling the press. She's spinning it as love conquers corporate conspiracy, or something equally dramatic. He pulled out a ring. Not huge, not flashy, just perfect. "The board can't flip if we own the majority shares. What? Your inheritance. Richard left provisions for any illegitimate children. You own 30% of Blackstone Industries. Combined with my 25%, we control the company. You want to go into business with me? I want to go into everything with you. Business, marriage, life. He dropped to one knee right there on the casino roof. Zara Chen, will you marry me? For real this time? She looked at him, this beautiful, complicated man who'd been her enemy, her fake boyfriend, her brother for one horrible moment, and now her future. Yes, but I have conditions. Name them. Mr. Whiskers gets his own office. Done. I'm keeping my last name. Perfect. And we're never ever taking a DNA test again. God agreed. She pulled him up and kissed him again. Then yes. Real. Yes, forever yes. Behind them, the sun rose over the city, painting everything gold. New day, new start, new truth. One more thing, Adrian said. Marcus left the country, but he sent this. A note. The best revenge is a life well lived. Be happy. It'll piss off everyone who matters. M. Zara laughed. He's not wrong. Ready to piss off the world, future Mrs. Chen Blackstone? With you? Always. They left the casino hand in hand, ready to face whatever came next. The truth was out, all of it, and somehow that made them free. 1 year later. I can't believe you're making me wear this. Adrian tugged at his bow tie. Not a designer one, but a ridiculous purple monstrosity with tiny cats on it that Zara had insisted matched her hair. You said I could plan the wedding, Zara reminded him, adjusting her own dress. Not white, but a stunning gradient from purple to silver that Keisha had designed specifically to break the internet. I thought you'd want something small, intimate. Oh, honey, she grinned. After everything we've been through? We're going out with a bang. The rooftop of Blackstone Tower had been transformed into a wonderland. Fairy lights strung between food trucks from around the city. No fancy catering, just the best street food New York had to offer. A DJ instead of a string quartet. And the guest list. Oh, the guest list. Every employee of Blackstone Industries was invited. All 3,000 of them. The ones Adrian had saved by keeping the company. The ones who'd watched their cold CEO transform into someone who actually knew their names. The board must be having collective heart attacks, Adrian murmured, spotting Roberts attempting to eat a taco while maintaining dignity. Good thing we own the majority shares then. Zara winked. Showtime, lovebirds. Keisha appeared magnificent in a golden suit. Adrian, you're walking first. Zara, your mom's ready. Adrian kissed Zara's forehead. See you at the altar. Try not to hack anything on your way down the aisle. No promises. As Adrian walked toward the altar, a simple arch made of computer monitors displaying their love story in code, he saw the gathering. His mother in the front row, openly holding hands with Carlos. Mrs. Chen beside her, cancer-free for 18 months now and radiating joy. Even Isabella had come, sending a gift with a note. For the couple who proved revenge is never worth it. Mr. Whiskers sat on his own cushion, wearing a tiny tuxedo, looking thoroughly unimpressed. Then the music started. Not the wedding march, but Dancing Queen by ABBA. The ringtone that had almost ruined everything, now reclaimed as theirs. Zara appeared, and Adrian forgot how to breathe. She walked alone. No giving away, she'd insisted. She belonged to no one but herself. The crowd gasped at her dress, at her purple hair crowned with LED flowers that actually glowed, at the sheer audacity of it all. But Adrian only saw her smile, that mischievous, brilliant smile that had destroyed his perfectly planned life and given him something infinitely better. Hi, she said when she reached him. Hi yourself. He took her hands. Ready to scandalize society? With you? Always. The efficient, Lily from IT, ordained online specifically for this, cleared her throat. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to witness something that should be impossible. A love story that started with a hack, survived a fake relationship, hostile takeovers, family secrets, mistaken sibling drama, and Marcus's entire villain arc. Laughter rippled through the crowd. Adrian, your vows? Adrian pulled out his cards, then tossed them aside. Zara Chen, you destroyed my wedding, cost me $2 billion, and made me fall in love with you while you were technically committing several felonies. You're chaos in human form with questionable fashion sense and a cat that judges me. You're also the best thing that ever happened to me. You taught me that perfectly planned lives aren't worth living. That love isn't a business arrangement. That sometimes the best things come from the worst mistakes. I love your purple hair, your terrible jokes, your brilliant mind, and your fierce heart. I promise to trust you, to choose you, and to never ever make you wear beige. Zara was crying and laughing simultaneously. Adrian Blackstone, who isn't technically a Blackstone, but we're not talking about that, you were an insufferable, emotionally constipated iceberg who tried to blackmail me into being your fake girlfriend. You made me work in a supply closet and insulted my hoodie. You also saved my mother's life, chose me over, everything safe and easy, and loved me even when you thought I was your sister, which is weird, but oddly romantic. You're frustrating, complicated, and you still pay too much for coffee. But you're also kind, loyal, and you let my cat rule your office. I promise to keep hacking your life in the best ways, to remind you to be human and to never let you become your father. Either of them. The rings? Lily asked. Keisha's nephew, dressed as a tiny hacker, complete with sunglasses, brought up the rings on a keyboard instead of a pillow. Do you, Adrian Not Really Blackstone, take this chaos gremlin to be your wife? I do. Do you, Zara Definitely a Blackstone Chen, take this reformed Ice King to be your husband? I absolutely do. Then by the power vested in me by the Internet and the state of New York, I now pronounce you married. Kiss before someone else reveals the secret. Adrian dipped Zara dramatically, kissing her as the crowd erupted. Confetti cannons, Keisha's idea, exploded, covering everyone in purple and silver. I love you, Mrs. Chen Blackstone, Adrian whispered against her lips. I love you too, Mr. Chen Blackstone. I'm not taking your name. Too late. Already filed the paperwork. I may have hacked the city registry. Of course you did. As they walked back down the aisle, hand in hand, Zara's phone buzzed. Unknown number. The message read, Congratulations. Your father would be proud. Both of them. M. She showed Adrian. He smiled. Even from wherever he's hiding, Marcus has to have the last word. Should we track him down? Nah. Let him have his mysterious exit. We got the happy ending. The reception was legendary. The DJ played everything from classical to K-pop. The board members learned to do the Cupid Shuffle. Vivienne and Carlos won the dance-off. Mr. Whiskers ate approximately his weight in shrimp. As the night wound down, Adrian and Zara stood at the edge of the roof, looking out at their city. No regrets? She asked. Only one. What? I should have let you hack my wedding sooner. She laughed, pulling him close. Good thing we have the rest of our lives to hack together. Together, he agreed. Behind them, their friends and family celebrated. The company was thriving. The scandals had become legendary love stories, and somewhere in the night, two people who should never have met, who should never have worked, who should definitely never have fallen in love, began their perfectly imperfect life together. 5 years later. Mommy, why does Daddy's Wikipedia page say he married a hacker? Zara looked up from her code to find their 4-year-old daughter, Sophie Richard Chen Blackstone, holding an iPad with a skeptical expression that was pure Adrian. Because Daddy did marry a hacker, sweetheart. But hacking is illegal. Only sometimes. Mommy. Adrian walked in, carrying their 2-year-old son, Vincent Carlos Chen Blackstone. Vivian had insisted on the names. No one argued with Vivian. What's Mommy teaching you now? That crime is sometimes okay, Sophie reported. Excellent. Very on brand for our family. He kissed Zara's head. Ready for tonight? Another board meeting? Anniversary party. Our friends want to celebrate 5 years of us not being siblings. That's a weird thing to celebrate. We're weird people. Mr. Whiskers, now ancient and even more judgmental, meowed from his custom throne. See? Even the cat agrees. As they got the kids ready, Zara caught Adrian staring at her with that soft expression he still got sometimes. What? Just thinking about that night you crashed my wedding. Best mistake I ever made. Best mistake we ever made. They kissed, and Sophie made gagging noises, and Vincent clapped, and Mr. Whiskers knocked something expensive off a shelf. It was chaos. It was perfect. It was theirs. And in his hidden villa in Greece, Marcus Webb read about their anniversary in the business news and smiled, then went back to his romance novel. Even villains deserved happy endings, even if they had to write their own.